Today we're covering Review 18, Compare and Order Integers. Integers are all the whole numbers and their opposites. Their opposites would be and remember, on a number line, the bigger numbers are on this side and the little numbers are over here. The bigger numbers are positive, and we know they go in counting order. And it kind of looks like the negatives go backwards. So -4 is much smaller than -2. So remember that negative numbers kind of go backwards. Let's look at the worksheet you're going to do. Review 18, Guided Practice. Number 1 says use greater than, less than, or equal to compare the integers. Well, on the very first one, we're comparing -7 to +3. A negative is always going to be smaller. Do you see any others on there that might have a negative and a positive? I see +10 and -10. +10 is going to be bigger because positive is always bigger than negative. Okay, we have 3 and 8. Those are both positive. 8 is definitely bigger. And then we have negative numbers, and you need to think about the number line. We would have 0 and then -1, and -9 would come way down here. -9 is more to the left, so it is smaller. And the one next to it is -6 and -9. -6 would be somewhere in here. So again, -9 is smaller. And then -46 and -46 are obviously the same, so they are equal. Number 2, order each set of integers from least to greatest. Least to greatest. So in the first set, which number would be the farthest to the left on the number line? -8. And then a little bit bigger would be -7. And the biggest in that set would be -4. Underneath that, we have -4, 8, and 0. Well, the least is always going to be the negative and 0. And then 8 is much bigger. We have 19, -19, and -2. -19 is the smallest. It would be the farthest to the left. And then -2, and then the positive number would be the biggest. Last set, 18, -14, and -3. -14 is the least because it would be the farthest to the left on the number line. And then -3, and then the positive is the biggest. Number 3, the park rangers at Estes Park in Colorado recorded the low temperatures for a week in December. List the temperatures in order from coldest to warmest. Well, is coldest going to be the biggest number or the littlest number? Littlest, and warmest would be the greatest. So it says to list the numbers. So the littlest number is going to be one of these negatives. Remember, on the number line, negatives kind of go backwards. So -24 is the littlest. And then -18. And then -8. Now we have just positive numbers, and 0 is smaller than 4. Number 4, In the first quarter of a football game, the Texas Titans lost and gained yardage on the field as follows: 2 yards, negative 14 yards, 18 yards, 34 yards, negative 15 yards. The statistician decided to keep track of the numbers in order. Put the numbers in order from least to greatest. So the least is going to be one of these negatives. And negative 15 is littler than negative 14 because negatives go backwards. And then what's left is positive numbers. Well, the smallest positive number is going to be 2. And then next would be 18 and then 34. Number 5. The information in the table shows the net profit or loss of a used car dealership during the spring and summer months of a recent year. Order the months from lowest net value to highest. So from least to greatest. Remember, least is going to be one of the negative numbers. Since negatives go backwards, it would be that one, which was May. Said to list the months, so we're going to list May. So then the next one would be July. Now all we have is positive numbers. So what's the smallest positive? It's going to be that 300, which was June. Then we have 8,500, 1,800, 9,400, and 2,500. Out of those, the smallest would be April. After April, 2 is smaller than 9 or 8, so September goes next. And then after September would be March. And then August is last. Number 6. Which integer makes this sentence true? Okay, so it's got to be bigger than negative 19. Is negative 20 bigger than negative 19? Think about a number line. We'd have negative 19, and then we'd have negative 20. So it's more to the left. It's going to be smaller. Is negative 15 bigger? Yeah, it would be on this side, so that might be a good one. Is negative 10 bigger? Yes, because it would be more over here. And then is a positive 14 bigger than a negative 19? Yes. So it could be one of those. Now we have to look at the other side. It needs to be smaller than negative 13. Is negative 15 smaller than negative 13? Yes, because it would be more to the left. Is negative 10 smaller? No, because see, look, it's to the right. And then positive 14, of course, is bigger, not smaller, because it's positive. So the correct answer is B. Let's look at the independent practice that you're supposed to do. You need to use a greater than, less than, or equal to sign on number 1. And think about the number line and which one would be to the far left. Left is little, right is greater. And positives are always bigger than negatives. Number 2, you're ordering each set of integers from greatest to least. So both of them are going from greatest to least. In this one, 7's the biggest. In this one, 8 is the biggest. 7, and then biggest is always positive, so 7, 4, then 2, and then which one is greater, -1 or -4? -1, and -4 would be to the farthest left, so it's the littlest. Number 3, it says the question, order the elements from the lowest melting point to the highest. So you're going from least to greatest. Number 4, which company's stock price had an increase? So you're just trying to find which company, either Plex Plastic or Infinity Plastic, had a increase. An increase would probably be positive. Number 5. It says list the divers in order from deepest dive to most shallow dive. Well, the farther you go down under the water, you're going below sea level. That's a negative. So it's the deepest would be the least. So we're ordering those from least to greatest. And then on number 6, you just need to think of where the numbers would fall on a number line. Those aren't spaced accurately, but they are in the correct position. So -23 would be to the farthest left, and 20 would be to the farthest right. And you can figure out which one of these is not true.